Thank you, Madam President, and let me say good morning to you and to my colleagues on this side, to the members opposite, and all of us who are here in this honorable house today. I rise as well to make some brief remarks with regards to two of the areas in my ministry, two specifically, agriculture and culture. Madam President, I think we all are aware that this past week we would have hosted, the Department of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture would have hosted our signature event. We have been having this event now for 28 years. And so we would have hosted the 28th edition of the Agri Expo. Of course, it was renamed the Agri Expo last year because of its growth. Previously, it was the Agriculture Open Day. But it is an event that many persons look forward to, and I would say all of Nevis look forward to, not only Nevis, but St. Kitts and further afield. And I want to place on record my sincerest gratitude and commendation to my staff at the Ministry and the Department of Agriculture for rising to the challenge again and hosting another quality event that would go down in the books as one that has been very successful, one that has been very memorable. And I think that the staff at the Department and the Ministry of Agriculture continues to show their mettle, their grit, and how well they can organize an event of this magnitude. Organizing an event of this magnitude takes quite a lot, and they have always been there, always rising to the challenge. I know it has been very rough organizing these events. Sometimes the tempers flare, but in the end, everything always comes together nicely. And I am assuming that all who would have attended, I hope you attended as well, Madam Minister. I'm sorry, Madam President. I hope all who would have attended would have enjoyed the experience being at the ETW Park last week, Thursday and Friday. I certainly did. I attended on both days. And it was indeed a spectacle, an agricultural spectacle, because of course what we try to do at this event is to portray everything agriculture. And of course we have said in this honorable house, and on every opportunity we get, we as an administration have been placing quite a lot of emphasis on agriculture. And so it is being shown on the ground. It is being shown in the produce that we have. It is shown in all of what we do. And it's brought there at the ETW Park every year towards the end of March. I want to say a special thank you to our patron for accepting the opportunity to be the patron for this year, Ms. Valerie Ermin Hendrickson, who has been an agro-processor, and who actually has been with the event for its entirety. She would have been with the event from it started up at a prospect in our natural environment. Then we moved to the villa. We outgrew the villa. Now we have moved to the ETW Park, which I think will be our permanent home. And I must say kudos to Ms. Hendrickson for being with us over these 28 years and leading by example. I also want to say a special thank you to all who took part in the event, because every year we tend to get more and more persons. And so we want to say thanks to all of the government institutions, the government departments, allied agencies, all the institutions and organizations and individuals, the farmers, the vendors, all who came out in their numbers. I think this year we had a record number in terms of participants, and we want to say a special thank you because, of course, this event can only be as successful as the participants make it. And so we want to say a special thank you to them. We want to also say a special thank you to our guests from St. Eustatius, or what we call Statia, because over the years, Madam President, the interest has been generated not only in Nevis, not only in St. Kitts, but further afield. And we have been having a contingent coming from Statia every year for a number of years now. And every year, thankfully, the numbers grow. Because those who come, they take the message back and they say how successful the event is. And so we are very thankful for our friends from Statia, the head of the delegation, Mr. Van Putin, and the entire team. Last year we had 150 persons. This year we had in excess of 200 persons. And so they are an integral part of our Agri-Expo now. And so thank you very much, Statia. We look forward to seeing you again next year. We also want to say a special thanks to our sponsors. Of course, these events cost money, and we want to say a special thanks to all of our sponsors, the Nevis Island Administration, National Bank, which was the official bank of the Agri-Expo, Flow, Lefco, Equipment Rental and Construction Company Limited, the Finnish Touch, Brands Architectural Services, the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, Nature's Best, and a special thanks as well to the East Caribbean Group of Companies, ECGC. And I must make special mention of ECGC because ECGC, I believe, has been with us as well from the inception. And normally, of course, we know that we get most of our animal feeds from ECGC, based in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And when we call on ECGC, whether it's during our open day, during our fruit festival, any event that we're having, and we call on ECGC, they are always there to give a helping hand. And of course, they would have donated handily again this year. I was very pleased when I visited the ECGC booth that 3 persons journeyed from St. Vincent to be a part of this exposition that we are having here on the island of Nevis. I interacted with the 3 persons, and they were overjoyed to be here on the island of Nevis. And during their presence here for the 2 days, when I visited them on Friday, I visited them on both days, but when I visited on Friday, they were actually doing a tasting, giving persons who attend or visit the booth an opportunity to taste the local chicken and the local ham prepared by our abattoir. And why they were so proud to do this? Because they're saying, listen, these chickens and these pigs that you're consuming are the product of the feeds from ECGC. And I was pleased, even more pleased when they said to me, we have bought products, chicken and ham, to take back to St. Vincent. They said, we wish we could have bought more. We have them in our freezer, and we're going to take them back to St. Vincent. We are going to show off when we get back to St. Vincent of the excellent products that have been produced on the island of Nevis. And that, of course, we should be proud of, Madam President. And I also, as I speak about ECGC, I want to say kudos as well to the local manager there at the supply office, Mr. Ricky Liebert, because, of course, we know ECGC is based in St. Vincent. But anytime we make the call to Mr. Liebert, he has always relayed the message, and we have always gotten positive results from ECGC. So, Mr. Liebert, you and your team there at the supply office, we say thank you very much for your support over the years, and we look forward to that continued support as we move forward. And so I want to say thanks as well to all of the patrons, all of the persons from Nevis, from St. Kitts, from further afield, who came out in their numbers as usual and supported our Agri-Expo this past Thursday and Friday at the ETW Park. I'm going to move, Madam President, quickly to culture. And I have also been given a note to say that we had a team from SABA as well. And so we want to say thanks to the team from SABA who came and they introduced an agricultural program in the schools. As a matter of fact, they came for the first time. We saw a contingent of students and teachers. They're saying they're trying to get the program introduced in the schools in SABA, and they chose Nevis to bring their students to show them what is happening on the island of Nevis. Best practices. Madam President, of course, we know that we had contingents here last year from Anguilla, from St. Kitts, from Antigua, Statia people now coming, and now we got a contingent from SABA as well. So we are delighted that what we are doing is getting the interest and the attention of our neighbors. Madam President, let me move quickly to culture. And of course, we know we are having our 50th anniversary of Culturama this year. And I must say that the plans are progressing quite well for the hosting of Culturama 50, Madam President. And just wanted to give a few updates. Now, yesterday, the marketing committee launched a new mobile app called the Nevis Culturama mobile app. And Madam President, this app is designed to provide Nevisians at home and in the diaspora, and anyone, as a matter of fact, who have been showing an interest in the festival, to witness the festival, all of the information that they need about Culturama in one place. Of course, you would have seen Madam Minister when she was here, the Senator. She was all in a tech thing. And so we are telling persons to get techie and download the app. You can get the app, and so we are asking persons to download the Culturama app to take Culturama 50 wherever you go with you. Now, the mobile app provides the following: latest Culturama 50 news and notices, access to the Culturama 50 schedule of events, a mobile platform to listen to the latest music releases from bands, soca artists, and calypsonians, details on all shows such as the junior and senior pageants, junior and senior calypso competitions, panorama contests, etc. It also gives you the opportunity to browse of the Culturama 50 photo galleries, viewing live stream events, watching featured videos of Culturama 50 participants, voting for your favorite pageant contestants, because that has become a big thing over the years, purchasing tickets online, and connecting with the new Culturama committee on Facebook, as well as listening to the Culturama Fever radio. So I'm encouraging all persons who have the Android and the iPhones to please download the app from the Google Play Store and the Apple Store today, and please take Culturama with you wherever you go, and encourage other persons to download the app as well. I must also inform members of the public, Madam President, that this past Thursday, March the 21st, the senior pageants, contestants, and participants signed the contracts with the Nevis Culturama Committee, and thus cementing their participation in the Miss Culture Queen Pageant, the Miss Culture Swimwear, and the Mr. Cool. I'm pleased to announce that we will have 6 contestants vying for Miss Culture, 5 contestants for Miss Culture Swimwear, and 5 participants for the Mr. Cool. And so these are shows that I know persons normally look forward to. And I can also indicate, Madam President, that the Miss Culture Queen for 2024, the C50 Miss Culture Queen, will receive a cash prize of $20,000, plus that scholarship to Monroe College. And the Mr. Cool and the Miss Swimwear winner will each receive a cash prize of $12,000. So, Madam President, we have stepped up significantly with regards to our cash prizes for this year. Let me also indicate that this coming Sunday, March the 31st, we will see the first in a series of what we call pan-yard concerts at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. Of course, we know pan has now become a big thing on the island of Nevis, and so we have organized this thing called a pan-yard every last Sunday of the month at the Malcolm Gishard Park, and it starts at 4 p.m. It will be a nice, relaxing afternoon, and we're asking persons to come and support. It's being spearheaded by the music department of NCDF. And this Sunday will feature performances by the Community Development Steel Orchestra, Wally Rhythms, Poinciana Rhythms, and guest performers will be the EBJ Harmonics out of St. Kitts. And there will also be cultural performances and a special guest performance by Speedy, backed by a steel orchestra. And of course, I want to publicly commend Speedy on the song. I heard it, that has been released. Excellent song for C50, and we are looking forward to a lot more releases very shortly. So we are inviting folks in Nevis and St. Kitts to come and join us at the Malcolm Gishard Park this coming Sunday from 4 for Panyard. Madam President, on Saturday, February the 24th, Go Live was launched. This is a live online interactive virtual series hosted by the Nevis Culturama Committee, and it seeks to provide information to the general public through interviews with various committee members and participants in this year's festival. It also provides a platform for soca artists, calypsonians, and bands to release their music and promos for C50. I'm also happy to report, Madam President, that work on the cultural complex and the cultural village have started. 10 contractors and the Public Works Department, thank you, member for Nevis 1. The Public Works Department will undertake the repairs and upgrades to the venues in preparation for Culturama 50. And we thank the Minister of Finance as well, and the member for Nevis too, because if we don't have the money, we can't do anything, Madam President. Now, of course, Madam President, we are expecting a lot of people. A swell, a groundswell of people for Culturama 50. And so we are doing a little bit of sprucing up in the cultural complex and in the village. The work at the cultural complex would see a significant upgrade to the interior of the concession stalls, where each stall would experience an upgrade to the electrical system, new hand washing and washing up sinks, an entirely new roof, raising the floors of some of the booths, which normally get flooded during rainy season sometimes. Now, the work at the cultural village, which would be much more than at the cultural complex, would involve constructing 5 corporate boxes, 2 on the cultural complex side, 3 on the ETW Park side, and of course those will be rented to our corporate sponsors. And of course through this, we are creating more space as well for the expected increased numbers of persons who will be attending the shows. Additionally, the performance stage area would be increased. We have had complaints over the years from our local, regional, and international artists that the performance area is a bit too small. And so we are increasing the stage area. However, we would not be decreasing the area for our patrons. And so what we'll be doing, we'll be removing the dressing rooms at the back of the existing stage, and we will be relocating those dress rooms to a corner in the cultural complex. We will also be constructing a new bathroom facility for the expected huge crowds for Culturama 50. Let me also indicate that the Culturama 50 jingle competition, so 10 submissions, of course, this was launched at our press conference in January at the MGR Park, and we would have received 10 submissions. The judging is expected to take place this week, and we are expecting to announce the winner very, very shortly. I must also indicate that registration remains open for our junior and senior calypso contest, for the Groovy and Power Soca Monarch contest, the Mr. and Miss Talented Youth pageant, road march, Juve troops, junior and senior parades, the art, craft, and cultural food fair, as well as the street vending. And Madam President, as I mentioned, street vending, let me say here now that we normally have a lot of vendors in Charlestown for Culturama. But the vendors normally do things haphazardly. They just set up haphazardly. We want to change that for Culturama 50. We want it more organized. And so we're asking persons who are interested in vending in Charlestown to kindly register at the Culturama Secretariat. We will be working very closely with the traffic department to ensure that we have organized vending. We know normally for Juve and for Parade of Troops, Charlestown is a hive of activity, and we normally have a lot of trailers, vans, vehicles, and so on, and we do not want anyone to be in danger. And so we want people to be safe, and so we are encouraging all vendors who are interested in vending for the season to kindly register, and we will organize the vending properly. We will allocate a spot to you, and please, we are asking for your cooperation. And of course, as I wrap up very shortly, the Culturama Committee will be launching its online ticket sales. We know that a lot of persons in the diaspora will be coming home, and they have been asking about online sales, and persons will be able to purchase their tickets before they get here, and so they'll have the tickets in hand before they get here. And so we will be launching that very shortly. And we are also informing members of the public in St. Kitts, in Nevis, and in the diaspora that for Culturama 50, we will be streaming pay-per-view. We will be streaming pay-per-view, but at a very reasonable and affordable fee. And so we, as I said, things continue to progress very smoothly for the hosting of Culturama 50. And so we're expecting all of us here on the island of Nevis and our Nevisians in the diaspora to come and participate and let us have a safe and incident and accident-free festival. Madam President, thanks for your indulgence, and I want to thank you for allowing me to make this brief presentation on the statements by ministers. May it please you, Madam President.